Multiverse a little bit, and I was listening to Ping Pong Flicks with I forgot his name, and he was talking about David Zaslav's approach to the multiverse, to how it seems things are going to move along with Batman, right? And I want to talk a little bit about that because I do believe that there are a couple things we could talk about here, which can crystallize what I think David Zaslav. It's not that David Zaslav is against the multiverse or doesn't want any multiverse Batman. I do believe Michael Keaton's Batman will be used in further storytelling. I also do believe Matt Reeves' sequels to the Batman movie will happen. So I don't think that these things are shelved. I just think that David Zaslav right now is focused on specifically Ben Affleck's Batman. He's focused specifically on Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman and Henry Cavill's Superman. That's what's happening. So I don't think that David Zaslav is going to nullify completely Michael Keaton's Batman. I believe Michael Keaton's Batman is going to come back somewhere. We're going to see that universe again. Just the fact that the universe is even mentioned means that it's going to come back. I do believe that. And we have had multiple iterations of Batman in different places. I just think that David Zaslav is focused right now on the DCEU verse, or the Snyderverse as we call it. So he's pushing Ben Affleck's Batman, which he thinks, I believe he has strong feelings. And from the data and fans and everything, that's what the Batman that most of the fans want to see on the screen. So I think that's what's really basically going on here. Um, so Matt Reeves, the Batman, I expect that movie to come. It was a good movie. I expect the sequel to happen because it was a good movie. It performed in the box office. It did what it needed to do. It raised the profit. He's not going to act something that makes a. David Zaslav's not going to act something that doesn't have a market. So you have to understand that. I don't think that he's going to axe Matt Reeves' sequel, just that they don't have stuff there for the sequel right now. And that's not his focus. His focus right now is on getting the Trinity to the Trinity together and on the big screen. That's his focus. Okay, um, but because if you think about it, Matt Reeves' Batman is not going anywhere. That's its own universe, right? When Matt Reeves is ready to do the sequel, you better believe it. David Zaslav is going to greenlight that thing, okay, guaranteed. But that's not his focus. David Zaslav's focus is not Matt Reeves the Batman. I'm sure that whenever Matt Reeves is ready to do whatever he has to do, and they got everything put together, I'm sure that movie's going to come out. Okay, but if I know Matt Reeves, and if I know if we go by his sequels for Planet of the Apes and that kind of stuff, it takes a little while for him to develop and really fully a nice, fully flushed out story. So I don't expect the sequel to happen in 2024, in 2023, maybe around 2025, maybe around 2026. Matt Reeves, the Batman, will come out the sequel. Just like with Joker. Joker came out in 2019, I believe it is, and now we're having a sequel that's greenlit. But look how much time has passed. It's 2022 now, and that sequel will come out, I think, in 2024. So you understand, it takes a little while for these sequels to happen. So even if the former president has greenlit, sort of given him the go ahead, it's still going to take some time to make the movie and everything. If you want to make a proper movie, that is, and properly flushed out movie, we're looking at somewhere around 2025, 2026, somewhere out there. And again, it's not connected to any universe, so I mean, absolutely, that's a nice standalone movie right there. So let me say something. Everything happens for a reason, and I think that in DC, in this case, shout out to the subscriber that just hit the like button there. Thank you very much. But in DC, I think everything happened for a reason. In a way, this was probably going to inevitably happen, probably sooner. But by going through the process of finding out what DC fans like and what they really don't like, by what they actually support in the cinema and what they don't support in the cinema, I think now Warner Brothers has a very clear picture about what we as fans want. Okay, so clearly the noise that was around, the Snyderverse in the beginning with Man of Steel and BVS wasn't the noise of pay-going fans. Pay-going fans enjoyed both movies. It was the critics, it was people who didn't pay, critics didn't pay, it was the um, certain vloggers who were very vocal, and of course these people were speaking, as we realize, in the trades for a certain regime of Warner Brothers. When we talk about Tsuchihara, we're talking about Jeff Johns, that kind of regime. So it's kind of clear now that that was fake news, and that we have to return sort of like to the original plan, because all you have to do is look at the economics, and it was broken down brilliantly, and I put it in the community section by somebody on Facebook. And also, I got something again, a brilliant chart on Twitter showing just how lucrative that, and it was becoming more and more lucrative, the Snyderverse. The Snyderverse, what Zack Snyder started with Man of Steel, then proceeded to Batman v Superman, then Suicide Squad, then Wonder Woman, and culminated in Aquaman. We leave out the Justice League bullshit that was not Zack Snyder's work. The profits were getting bigger and bigger. All right, it started off at 42 million profit, and it moved all the way up to 256 million dollars profit off of Aquaman. It culminated at that, and it just keep on increasing. When we look at Walter Amada and how that Toby Emmerich Walter Amada regime went from Shazam. Shazam started earning, I think it burned like I can't remember how many millions. It was decent, and then the profits went lower and lower until there was no profit, until it was negative profit, until it was canceled. We had Batgirl, the last thing that was canceled. Now, hopefully, Black Adam can do better. This is going to be Black Adam, Shazam, and The Flash are all under Walter Hamada. That's his films. However, the fact that these films are coming out, we will see if the tone of the films and the texture of the films, the cinematography and quality of the films improves. Because if we see, because there's a lot of money pumping into these films now, all right, by David Zaslav. They want this thing properly done. $100 million is a lot of freaking money to put into a film. Okay, it's a hell of a lot of money, and that he's willing to pump as much money as possible to save the Flash. Okay, it's the same director, so that's a good news. It's still going to be in the feeling of the director, because you need to have the same director there at least. But I guess certain liberties that the director didn't have before, now he'll have more liberties to spruce it up and make it the best that he possibly can do. So that's what David Zaslav is working on with him, and of course changing sort of the trajectory of where they were going with the film as well. So, and David Zaslav's not going to put out that film if it's not going to make no money. So he'll cancel a film if he has to. So that film has to perform. When it comes out, it has to perform. Otherwise, it's not coming out. And I love that about David Zaslav. I really love that about him. And I'm looking forward to seeing if Black Adam can do something. Now, I don't know what will happen with Black Adam, because there's only so much you can do. But hopefully that film does well, Hopefully. I'm rooting for Black Adam to do well. I like The Rock. The Rock had been playing both sides, kind of, but not really. He never committed to anything. But I know he's a Snyder fan. I know he wants Black Adam to do very well. He's very passionate about Black Adam. I just hope he makes the right decisions, because if you don't have Henry Cavill in Black Adam, I know Henry Cavill's going to be in Black Adam. I mean, David Zaslav is going to be like, Superman. Get Superman in this film. Because they're going to look at the fans, what the fans want, what the fans expect. They're looking at the reactions of the fans in Comic-Con. They're going to look at all of that, and they'll be like, this is a no-brainer. Right? So Superman's going to be in Black Adam. Now, that doesn't mean Black Adam is saved because Superman is there. But what it does is it kind of makes you look forward to the movie. And people who are not interested in Black Adam at all will at least have something that kind of gets their interest. Oh, Henry Cavill's showing. Okay, Henry Cavill's coming back. Okay, so that's something that, might draw people to Black Adam. I may want to watch the movie. Now, if the movie turns out to be decent, let's go with the worst case scenario. It comes out, it sucks, but it's decent. All right, it's a sucky movie, but it's decent. But Henry Cavill showed up in that movie, right? People are going to talk about Henry Cavill showing up in the movie, and if Henry Cavill shows up and it doesn't look like, you know, Justice League of 2017 Henry Cavill, it's going to be great. It's going to be great for the film. So they have to work on their story and everything. They really have to come up with aces on this one. Hold on one second. I got to go deal with some food in the corner. Shout out to the person watching this video. Man, you really tuning into my stuff. I don't know who this is, but sometimes you can give me some feedback. That would be nice. Yesterday, so I'm the day before. Right now I'm working on the phones. Okay, now I know somebody out here said, hey man, why do you eat while you're doing these videos? Because this is the only time I have. I'm taking a meal break. I'm busy during the day doing other things, and I take the time out of the day. This is an informal channel. Take the time out of the day to talk with you guys, and you guys can listen to me, or you don't have to listen to me. I don't care. I'm just putting the information out there, from my point of view, okay? It's not factual, it's opinionated, okay? So, you're gonna have to excuse me, but I gotta eat, but I gotta eat. So I'm cooking food, I'm coming here. Shout out, man. This is, you gotta let me know what your name is, how to pronounce it. Said, sorry man, I was driving. You see, everybody's busy. Everybody's busy driving, doing different things, right? So we take a little time out of the day, talk about movies, talk about God, talk about those kinds of things, right? But we're all busy, right? Okay, so, yeah. With Black Adam, man, oh man. Shout out to you, by the way, brother. I don't know how to pronounce your name. If you could just break it down phonetically, that'd be cool. Juan Riviera. Oh, you put your name in reverse. I love that. That's wicked, brother. That's good. Yeah. So anyway, what I'm saying is, worst case scenario, Black Adam's crap, right? It's a crappy movie, but even so, Henry Cavill shows up in it, and Henry Cavill's performance is great. We're gonna talk about it. That'll be a reason to talk about something, and just to talk about DC is better than people being indifferent and doesn't even know what's going on in DC. So that's the worst case scenario. Zaslav's not gonna let that happen. Zaslav's gonna try to make this film as good as possible. Okay? And I know that The Rock trained his ass off and he worked really hard to get this film going down. So The Rock wants this film to succeed by any means necessary. So I know whatever they're planning with Henry Cavill and The Rock, whether some fans like it or some fans don't like it, I know, and hopefully it's a cinematic experience. It doesn't look bad. It doesn't look Wonder Woman 84 bad. But I'm hoping they work on their CGI. I hope that they work on their action scenes and get it right. And I hope, like, I don't know how to say this, but I hope it's not a hee-hee-ha-ha film. You know, Black Adam is not a guy you laugh about or you joke about. And the story seems very, very gruesome, very deep, very heavy. If it's not a hee-hee-ha-ha film, and they may have some humor in it splattered wherever, this film might do just very well. I mean, The Rock is a hell of an action star to start with. You know, and, you know, hopefully this movie does well. I'm rooting for it to do well now. I know it's a Walter Hamada initiated film, but Walter Hamada's almost out the door. Okay, he's almost gone. It would be nice for him to leave Warner Brothers with a hit, something that actually resonated with the audience. it wouldn't really be his doing, but he would have greenlit it. You know what I mean? So he can have sort of like a win. So even though he has done a lot of terrible things, he's not apologized to Ray Fisher and the people who represented in that Justice League investigation, and he defended certain people he should not have defended. I must say this: if DC wins, he kind of wins because this is his project. This is the thing he greenlit. So, and I was very excited for Black Adam, but they gotta take it up now. I don't know when they're gonna start their advertising campaign for Black Adam, but they need to get that going. But I'm sure they better have Henry Cavill in that thing. They better have it because I'm telling you, man. Especially if somehow they get Henry Cavill to show up, like it's like BVS. As controversial as it is, one of the best moments in BVS was when Wonder Woman showed up, right? And that off of that Wonder Woman's film came. So if Black Adam somehow the revelation of how the connection between his universe and the Justice League's universe, the real Justice League universe, is connected, if they do it right, woo, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great, right? Because we know Black Adam. I don't think Black Adam's in the same universe. He's in a different universe, obviously, because he has a different Justice League there. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to that. And that might be the thing, the selling point of the movie. But they got to, Zaslav and they got to, without a doubt, show us that Henry Cavill's going to be in there. Whether it's behind the scenes footage showing Superman or just on a poster or something. Because Joker draws. Joker's what sold the Suicide Squad. You know, people went into Suicide Squad, they didn't see Joker much. So my point is, Zaslav doesn't care about Black Adam like that. His focus, let me make it abundantly clear again. It's not that Zaslav doesn't want multiple Batmans in a multiverse. It's that his focus is going to be on Ben Affleck's Batman. Okay? His focus is going to be on Henry Cavill's Superman. His focus is going to be on Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. And because Aquaman did so well, Aquaman is not a major DC character like the Trinity. But because it did so well, he's going to also focus on Aquaman. Wants those movies to do well. So that's the point. Because Black Adam's coming out. He didn't ask Black Adam. If he was really just about Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, he'd ask Black Adam. He'd ask The Flash. He'd ask all those movies. No. He's focused on those things. That's what you got to understand. It's not like Matt Reeves, the Batman, is not going to get greenlit. It's going to get greenlit. Okay? David Zaslav's not like that. But his focus is on getting what we call the Snyderverse, what we wanted it restored. He saw everything, and he's adamant to make that happen and make us satisfied. And it's a great day. We're not kind of on a high, but we need a receipt, a concrete evidence that the Snyderverse is going to be restored. We need that. Anyway, that's what I got for you guys. I'm Christ I Am Disciple. Before I get out of here, I'm going to be turning to Mr. Scripture Boy for a second. I'm going to give you all a piece of scripture. And I'm going to be out of here. I got to go get some stuff. From the store. Alright. This is the way how it goes. I got some more breakdowns of the series of movies, Batman v Superman, Man of Steel, and Zack Snyder's Justice League coming up. And hopefully we can have another chat section on that. I wanted to talk about it a long time ago, but I just had time. Alright, I want to read this because I feel like this is real stuff. A lot of times people talk about wanting to be a hero. But real life heroes don't always get praise. I think of Muhammad Ali when he took his stand against the war, when he started speaking up for people of color and so on, how he was berated, how he was hated. I think of Martin Luther Jr. I think of Kennedy, but it's Bobby Kennedy, standing up for the right thing and he got assassinated. A lot of times people feel superheroes. The story's supposed to end well and people are supposed to applaud them and praise them for what they do. And they're somehow bad superheroes or evil Superman. Like a guy on Facebook groups saying that, this is where Zack Snyder separated Superman in BVS from Jesus Christ, in that he was evil Superman in BVS. And I'm like, no, he wasn't evil. The world thought he was evil. The world thought he was reckless. The world thought he was, not accountable, not being held accountable for certain things, when he was just simply trying to help all the time. And he even submitted himself to mankind, coming to the Capitol to be at a hearing about himself and his effects on the world, and how sometimes, as a result of him trying to help, negative things happen to other people. Okay? So, I want to read something from Scripture that just aligns with this. And again, shout out to Zack Snyder. One of the things Zack Snyder did in comic book movies is he showed that a hero isn't somebody who's praised. That's not what makes a hero a hero. A hero is not someone who you always admire. Sometimes the hero can be somebody controversial, somebody who you have mixed feelings about, because the hero's doing things that, pushing boundaries that nobody else pushed and nobody else considered to be something that was worth doing. All right, let me get into it. All right, this comes from John chapter 16. John chapter 16. I'm only going to read maybe 3 verses, right? It's not very long. It's like 3 sentences. It says, "Now what I told you, don't be offended by it. And what I'm about to tell you, don't be offended by it. They'll kick you out of churches. Yeah, there'll come a time where when somebody kills you, they'll think they're doing God's work. And these things they'll do to you because they don't know God. They don't know me." I'm going to stop right there. Okay? What I love about the knowledge that I accrued about understanding God, or understanding the thing that holds us together, is, everybody always wants to have that fairy tale like ending. Meaning, when all is said and done, you're coming to the end of your days, you ride off into the sunset. But I've seen some of the nicest people that grace this planet die the most horrible deaths from diseases. I've seen some of the nicest people end up in some of the worst predicaments, and their name dragged to hell. And history will record them as, someone who made this grave mistake, when in fact it was set up. So I know what it is to do good, and yet, at least in this lifetime, have evil done to you, and you leave the game with that evil stigma on you, even though you did not do those things. You did not, and it's gossip, and and rumors are spread about you, and you go down a blaze of. So my point being, we've seen many a beacon be bastardized. We've seen it many times, whether it's in pop culture, or if it's in religious spheres, or in political spheres. And it's sad. One of our former prime ministers of my country, he died of leukemia. And, a couple of weeks before his death, they were just going in on this guy. The first prime minister we ever had of my country, and we have prime ministers, we don't have presidents. He did so much for the country, and the country turned on him. And one of the worst things you could ever have is you mentor, you help someone to become better, and they turn on you, and they attack you, and they try to destroy you. And these are real things. And so when Superman saved Metropolis, and people in Metropolis turned on him, some of them, and started to hate him, like Wally hated Superman for losing his feet. He had tremendous hatred for him. He said he's not a hero, blah, blah. I understood it, because being a hero, or being so-called hero by people who label you that, is not about how people view you. It's about doing the right thing. It's about making a choice to want to do good. And that's what Zack Snyder was able to identify. Because Superman, in his good intentions, ended up having the worst possible thing that could ever happen to an individual happen to him. Because his whole purpose was to help mankind and to save mankind. And the bomb explosion in the Capitol was devastating to him. It crippled him. Okay? How Richard Donner dealt with that was copped out. When Lois Lane died, Superman went crazy in the Richard Donner cut. And he launched up into the sky, and he turned back time. So he copped out. He didn't go there. He didn't say, well, what will happen to Superman if Lois Lane died? How would he deal with the depression? How would he cope with not being able to save? Well, in this BVS, Superman's confronted with a situation not like exactly like that, but something like that, where he's in a position to save and he couldn't save. He couldn't save because he couldn't see the bomb that was in the lead chair. We see that same thing again with Cyborg in Zack Snyder's Justice League. Doesn't make you less of a hero if you fail to save someone or people because you were not capable of doing it. That's the question. Superhero movies today don't cover that. They got The Boys, and they got several other movies where they're trying to show heroes and so supposedly guys who are supposed to be in hero mode not behaving. Their character is flawed. That was not Superman that Zack Snyder brought forth. As discouraged as he was able to reflect and realize why he kept on doing what he's doing good. Certain people who love him, know him, he confided in, believe in him, and want to push him forward to be that beacon, in spite of what happened. And to me, that's real. To me, that's real. Great story writing, by the way. I don't know a realer superhero movie than that. And so, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm coming on 30 minutes. I'm going to wrap it up right here. But suffice it to say, what I read in this book here, my dad's old Bible, he's dead now. Okay? What I read in this thing here, is real. That's how life really is. The real heroes, they get used, abused, mistreated. That's the truth. But they're not in it for fame and glory. They're not in it for their names to be etched in stone. They're not in it for that. They're in it because they want to do good. All right? That's why Jesus is the ultimate hero. You don't see him. You can't see him. Huh? I'm going to catch you guys later. Love, joy, peace. These virtues are very important. They're the foundation of me and what I govern by, my principles. I fall, I stumble, I fall. But we're going to join, everyone's going to join in that glorious light, the Son of God. I'm going to catch you guys later. Peace.